Most men believe overthinking is a thinking problem. It isn't. It's a control problem. The mind starts spinning when reality refuses to obey. When the future remains uncertain. When another person won't give the answer you want. When a decision carries risk. When a mistake cannot be undone. And so the mind does what it always does. It creates endless simulations. One conversation becomes 50. One decision becomes 100 possibilities. One setback becomes an entire imagined disaster. The strange part is that overthinking feels productive. It feels like preparation. It feels responsible. It feels intelligent. But most of the time, it is none of those things. It is simply resistance disguised as analysis. And the Stoics discovered a way to end it thousands of years ago. A mental maneuver so simple that most people overlook it. Yet once you understand it, you'll begin noticing how much of your suffering was created by fighting battles that were never yours to control. This is the Stoic trick that ends overthinking instantly. And once you see it, you'll never be able to unsee it. The average man wakes up carrying invisible weight. Not physical weight, mental weight. He replays conversations from yesterday. He worries about decisions that haven't happened yet. He imagines criticism that may never come. He fights arguments that exist only inside his own head. By noon, he is exhausted. Not because life defeated him. Because his imagination did. The Stoics noticed something remarkable about human beings. Most people spend their lives focusing on things they cannot command. Other people's opinions, the economy, the future, the past, luck, timing, recognition, outcomes. And then they wonder why they feel powerless. Because power cannot exist where control does not exist. This realization became one of the most important principles in Stoicism. The dichotomy of control, a concept taught by Epictetus nearly 2,000 years ago. His message was brutally simple. Some things are within your control. Some things are not. Wisdom begins when you know the difference. At first glance, it sounds obvious. Almost too obvious. But look closely at your own life. A man sends a message to a woman he likes. Hours pass. No response. Immediately his mind begins constructing stories. Did she lose interest? Did I say something wrong? Is she talking to someone else? Should I send another message? Should I delete the first one? Should I apologize? Now notice what happened. Nothing in reality changed. Only his thoughts changed. The suffering wasn't created by the silence. It was created by trying to control something outside his control. Her response. The Stoic trick works because it forces the mind back into reality. The moment overthinking begins, ask one question. Is this within my control? Not partially, not emotionally, not hypothetically, actually, within my control. If the answer is yes, act. If the answer is no, release it. That is the entire technique. Simple, not easy, but incredibly powerful. Imagine you're waiting to hear back after a job interview. Your mind starts racing. What if I don't get it? What if they choose someone better? What if I said something wrong? The Stoic response is immediate. Can you control their decision? No. Can you control whether they hire someone else? No. Can you control their internal opinions? No. Can you control your preparation, your effort, your professionalism, and your next move? Yes. That's where your attention belongs. Overthinking dies when attention returns to what can actually be influenced. Most men never learn this. Instead, they negotiate with uncertainty. They try to mentally solve problems that reality hasn't even created yet. It's like trying to win a chess match against an opponent who hasn't made a move. Every day, for years. No wonder anxiety becomes chronic. The mind was never designed to carry that burden. One of the greatest misconceptions about strong men is that they don't experience uncertainty. They do. The difference is that they refuse to become servants to it. They don't demand certainty before taking action. They act despite uncertainty. That distinction changes everything. If you've experienced this yourself, drop your experience in the comments. The strongest conversations happen between people who are actively building themselves. Here's where the Stoic trick becomes even more powerful. Overthinking is often fueled by hidden ego. That statement makes people uncomfortable. But it's true. Think about how often your mind says, "What if I fail? What if they judge me? What if I embarrass myself? What if I make the wrong choice?" Notice the common theme: self, 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 self. The ego desperately wants guarantees. It wants protection. It wants certainty. It wants immunity from failure. Reality offers none of those things. The Stoics understood that life is fundamentally unpredictable. The stronger man is not the man who eliminates uncertainty. The stronger man is the one who becomes comfortable walking through it. Consider two men standing at the edge of the same opportunity. One spends 6 months analyzing, researching, planning, thinking, worrying. The other spends 2 weeks preparing and then moves. The first man feels intelligent. The second man looks reckless. 5 years later, the second man has experience. The first man has theories. Overthinking creates the illusion of progress. Action creates actual progress. And action is impossible when your attention is trapped in uncontrollable outcomes. This is why so many men remain stuck. Not because they lack intelligence. Because they worship certainty. The Stoic trick breaks that addiction. Every time your thoughts begin spiraling, separate reality into 2 categories. What I control, what I don't. Then become ruthless. Most of what drains your energy belongs in the second category. People's opinions, not yours. Future events, not yours. External validation, not yours. The past, definitely not yours. Your effort, yours. Your character, yours. Your discipline, yours. Your response, yours. The moment you make this distinction, your mind regains clarity. Because attention is no longer scattered across impossible responsibilities. It returns home. There is another reason this technique works so quickly. It interrupts mental momentum. Overthinking behaves like a snowball rolling downhill. One thought creates another, then another, then another. Eventually you're emotionally reacting to events that haven't happened. The Stoic question acts like a wall. Is this within my control? The chain breaks. The mind pauses. Reality reappears. Many men spend years searching for complicated productivity systems, complex morning routines, advanced mindset hacks, exotic mental frameworks. Yet one question often accomplishes more than all of them combined. Because clarity is not created by adding information. Clarity is created by removing noise. And overthinking is noise. Relentless, exhausting, unnecessary noise. Think about a man lying awake at 2 in the morning. He's replaying a mistake from 5 years ago. The embarrassment still feels fresh. The regret still feels real. But ask the Stoic question. Can he control the past? No. Then every minute spent fighting it is wasted energy. Energy that could be invested into becoming stronger today. The past becomes a prison when a man keeps trying to rewrite it. The future becomes a prison when a man keeps trying to predict it. Freedom exists only in the present moment where action is possible. That is why disciplined men appear calmer. Not because life is easier for them. Because they stop carrying responsibilities that were never theirs. If this resonates with you so far, take a second to like the video. It helps this message reach men who genuinely need it. Now let's go deeper. The Stoics weren't teaching passivity. Many people misunderstand this. They assume accepting what you can't control means becoming indifferent. Doing nothing. Giving up. That's not Stoicism. That's surrender. True Stoicism demands action. Aggressive action. But only where action matters. Imagine an archer aiming at a target. He can control his training, his stance, his focus, his technique, his preparation. Once the arrow leaves the bow, however, countless variables appear. Wind, distance, movement, chance. The Stoic focuses completely on the shot, not obsessively on the result. Because the result no longer belongs to him. Most men reverse this process. They obsess over results while neglecting preparation. Then wonder why anxiety consumes them. Anxiety grows wherever control is misplaced. The Stoic trick corrects the placement. Every single time, A relationship ends. You cannot control their decision. But you can control your recovery. A business fails. You cannot change the outcome. But you can control the lesson. Someone disrespects you. You cannot control their character. But you can control your response. Every challenge contains this distinction. And every challenge becomes lighter once you see it. The strongest men are not those who control everything. They are the men who stop trying to. That shift sounds small, yet it changes your entire relationship with reality. Because reality is no longer your enemy. You stop demanding guarantees. You stop demanding certainty. You stop demanding perfect outcomes. You focus on what is yours. And release what isn't. The result is something rare in the modern world. Mental freedom. A freedom that cannot be purchased. Cannot be gifted. Cannot be faked. Only earned. One decision at a time. One thought at a time. One moment at a time. And perhaps that's why Stoicism remains relevant after thousands of years. Human nature hasn't changed. Men still worry. Still fear. Still overthink. Still suffer from imaginary battles. The tools remain timeless because the problem remains timeless. The next time your mind starts racing, don't wrestle with every thought. Don't argue with every fear. Don't chase every possibility. Ask the question, is this within my control? If yes, act. If no, let it go. That single habit can save years of wasted energy. Years of anxiety. Years of self-created suffering. If you're serious about discipline, self-mastery, and building a sovereign mindset, subscribe and join this growing community of men choosing strength over excuses. And remember this, overthinking feels like control, but it is often the absence of control disguised as effort. The sovereign man understands the difference. He does not spend his life trying to command the wind. He strengthens his grip on the sail. Which point hit you hardest? Share it below. Someone reading your comment may need that perspective. The world is full of men exhausting themselves fighting realities they cannot change. They wage wars against uncertainty, against the past, against other people's choices, and against outcomes that were never theirs to command. Meanwhile, the man who understands the Stoic distinction moves differently. His energy is focused. His mind is clear. His actions are deliberate. He accepts what is outside his control and masters what remains. And in that moment, something extraordinary happens. The noise disappears. The burden becomes lighter. The path becomes visible. The question is no longer whether life will be uncertain. It always will be. The real question is whether you will spend your life resisting reality, or finally learn to stand sovereign within it.